Hello, everyone. Jean-Claude, beyond mistake. I'm here by the river, and as you can hear behind me, there's some kids having fun. It's a beautiful day, although we do have some storm clouds gathering in the background there again. Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me okay. I'm using the laptop today, uh, connecting through my cell phone, connecting through the cell tower where I'm at. Hopefully, the sound is coming through okay. So give me a 5x5 in the live chat there. Make sure that we are running fine. I'm trying this on Rumble, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, there's a little black camera here, and it went dark just before I tried to go live. And of course, I brought my huge pack sack gear with all my equipment, and there's one cable missing. So I brought just about everything, but one cable. So what's happening? I think it's the controller itself that has lost power for some reason. I'm not sure why. It was charging earlier this morning, and I do have an extra battery for it that I could use live, but I don't have the adapter. So, as the title suggested, this was going to be a test of my Skycam. Of course, I'm doing the drone testing. As you can see, kinda. Let me see if I can show you in the background. I'm at the river here. Beautiful day. You can see some of the ruins there in the back, and yeah, a little bit of. I could see some darker clouds coming in, so I don't think it will last too long here today. And at any rate, my test for the drone is non-conclusive. So I have to come. Although it was working before I went live, so I was able to basically fly my drone and transmit the video from the drone to this little box here on StreamYard, which is pretty cool. And I was thinking, could you imagine when I was reporting from the Ottawa Freedom Convoy? Could you imagine if I had a drone at that time? It would have been cool shots for sure. I probably would have need extra hands because doing interviews and flying the drone is not that easy to do at the same time. What happened to the Rumble? What do you mean? Uh, you mean for the 107 thing? What happened to Rumble last night? I'm not sure. I think the you mean the interview with Penny Kelly, Woo Woo Dude, and Jason Four? It went okay. We did the full interview. It was like an hour and a half or so. It was a great interview. If you guys haven't seen it, lots of great comments there as well. So too for the 107 interview. That was really good on Wednesday night. I had a lot of fun with that. It was a 3-hour marathon, and there was a lot said there. Granted, some of it was between the lines, but if you pay attention, there was a lot said. A lot of information was shared with you guys, so it was really cool, and I really enjoyed that interview with Juan. It was. I felt like it was a real conversation, like just two dudes having a beer and trying to figure out what the hell's happening in this crazy world. So I thought it was really cool. Anyways, let me know if you guys like that interview. He said he'd be back also, apparently in the next days even, or maybe a couple of weeks here. We're going to have some crazy epic things popping off, he said. And he said he'd be willing to come in for little cameos too during my other shows. And I said, well, that could work. Maybe on this Thursday show where we use the Beyond the News franchise. We could have like a guest spot on that could work also. And he said yes to that. So that'll be interesting to see. Okay, so yeah, I won't be able to do the drone footage. I thought it would be super cool because over there, again, let me see if I can show this to you. There's guys fishing in the ruins back here, and there's a little bit of a waterfall. There's 2 waterfalls here also, and there's a lot of beautiful wildlife. And there's a few guys also on their canoes and paddle boats. So it would have been a great shot. So I'm going to try to do this again. I just like being out here. It's very peaceful. And even though the kids are having fun in the background, it's still very peaceful. I love the sound of the water in the back. Somebody says, what are the stones in your bracelets? The first one, that's, how do you call that? Lava stone. So these are lava stone. And this is blue tiger eye. And this is the typical tiger eye. That makes sense. Make the truth great again. I love that one. That's good. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Part of the things I want to talk about in the next couple of weeks, and we kind of broached the subject yesterday on the show with Penny Kelly, Joe, and Richard, was some of the stuff that's coming into the WebBot data as of late with respect to alternative media taking a huge hit. So if you guys saw the show from last night, um, Cliff was suggesting, or at least his data was suggesting, that there's going to be some type of huge turmoil in alternative media. And I asked him, I said, do you mean like the controlled opposition falling, maybe? Because there's a lot of that in alt media also. And he said the data wasn't that specific. He just said that in the next couple months here, we're going to see, he didn't use the word death, but the demise or a lot of alt media is going to disappear. And he said that's going to persist till the fall. And then after that, we'll have a trail off of that. But the bulk of alternative media dying is between now and the fall. And as you know, in the last couple of days, in the news, Alex Jones is having issues again. The ruling and the families apparently are asking for him to dissolve the studio. They want to take down the studio. Let me see if I can put my glasses on because it's a little bright. Sorry. I don't know if I can put a blanket on this thing here. Hold on. Remove the glare. Okay. Oh, the sun's coming off now. Yeah, so they want to take the studio to pay off this $1 billion fine. And today they're suggesting also that they might take his social media accounts, the Twitter and everything else. So that could be the beginning here of what Cliff was picking up in terms of alternative media dying. And that's unfortunate because these guys have been holding the line for a long time against this sensory apparatus and ideological subversion against humanity. So I hope that's not going to happen. Part of me thinks it's just part of the movie right now as we're getting into the last stretch of this, and it needs to resolve, and people have to see how bad this censorship machine is, or this Orwellian life we live in really is, before they put a stance and say no, this far no further. So I hope it's going to be okay with the guys at InfoWars, but that's just indicative of the fight we're fighting now. So yeah, I love these little outdoors chats. Well, thank you, appreciate that, Guinness Girl. If you guys have questions for me, I could stay a little bit here. I have some battery life. At least the laptop was working and my phone connection is working. It's just the drone controller for some reason lost power. Great show last night, Ken. Thank you so much. Appreciate that also. Yeah, so, and going back to that, so there's a couple of things there that you guys need to pay attention to. So one, on one hand, there's officialdom apparently trying to crack down on alternative media. And on the other hand, there's also, I think this sounds okay now. And on the other hand, there's also a lot of the infighting. And the infighting was to be expected, I think, also in the last maybe 3 or 4 months. It appeared that we were starting to win this war. And so the people on this side of the media are trying to jockey for position to be in, I guess, in the spoils of war position here as all of this blows over. So there's going to be more of that infighting. And on top of that, we have all of these AI and fake and deep fakes coming out also, creating even more confusion, misunderstanding, fighting in the truther community. So it's one hell of a landscape to try to navigate. I'm telling you that. Janine and I spent a lot of time looking at and trying to avoid some of these truther infighting. One, we don't have the time for it, but two, we really march to the beat of our own drums. Like we want to do the news that we want to do, and we don't want to get into any other people's business. So, but at the same time, a lot of you are asking us to weigh in on stuff sometimes, and we always have to, I guess, weigh the risk, reward, benefit of doing that. So, anyways, Bay worth us. We try to do our best with with covering the news and staying away or above the fray there as it stands with all of this infighting. Can you wipe your camera lens? The picture is flaring a bit. Well, uh, because I'm on the cell phone, I have to drop to 720p as opposed to 1080. But let me see. Does that look better? And with the connection too, it'll get a little bit foggy if there's more people on the network here at the same time. I've seen that in the past from this location, although it's still pretty good. The technology is pretty cool. And man, really wish I could make that drone overhead video work. That would be really cool for you guys. Okay, looks good. Okay, way better. Oh, thank you. Okay, maybe it was dirty. All right. I don't have a cat. Like I always tell Janine, Janine, your cat licked the camera, wipe the camera. We can't see you. Anyways, okay, it does look better. Okay, thank you guys. Let me see here on the Rumble feed. You guys there too? Yeah, I'm picking this up because there's about 1,000 of you there. Cool. I love all your shows. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay. So what do we have coming up? So yeah, I want to have more conversation about the alternative media and the transition we're going to see over the next weeks and months. I want to prepare our audience for that so we kind of know what to expect. Um, Definitely one of the big topics that is going to come up, I believe, of course, is the death of the dollar. We're just at the beginning of that now and the beginning of the formation of the narrative around it. So we're going to spend a lot of time trying to decode that for you guys, trying to understand it for ourselves, but also trying to decode that for you guys. And if you watched yesterday's show, it's going to have well, a lot of unintended consequences, but mostly on the supply chain stuff too. So you guys be ready for that hit of maybe not being able to purchase the stuff you usually purchase in time. So a lot of changes there. And that's the death of the dollar. And I think also what's just around the corner at the same time is this whole election business. I think we're close to seeing. There's a book coming out by Patrick Byrne. Well, it's already out. I ordered it actually earlier this week on Amazon, and he describes in it. I'll be careful here on YouTube. Some of the shenanigans that were being played behind the scenes. I'll just say that. And so I think that that's going to be on the forefront also in the next couple of days and weeks leading up to this election in the fall. So that could be the biggest head turner for a lot of the normies. And when and if that information comes out the way we think it's going to come out, you can expect a lot of your friends and families to kind of lose their mind, especially those who are still trapped in the Trump derangement syndrome. So I guess those. Oh, and on top of that, the ET stuff. We didn't get to it last night, but if you watched the show, I created a specific page on Beyond Mystic where I had copied and pasted some of the information that Cliff had provided for me. Let's see if this is a little bit better. That Cliff had provided for me. And in it, he was suggesting that past July 15, so after July 15, we would very quickly see an uptick in UFO conversations, sightings, conversations, events. So that too apparently is in the mix now. And funny enough, Juan did mention this during the show that we were apparently supposed to have this a little bit earlier, the ET alien card or fake alien invasion card under Hillary Clinton had she won the election. And all of that has been postponed. But it's still apparently in the cards. And every time Janine looks at it, it's also still in the cards. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to transpire. I don't know if you saw Russell Crowe. There was a video yesterday, I think. Contact, I believe, is the words he used, by 2027. So not too far from now. So again, you're seeing more and more of this conversation happen at the mainstream media surface. So it's very interesting. That's already begun to uptick. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. In the last couple of months, if you've just been scanning the news, even on mainstream news, they keep talking about these UFO sightings and whether or not Um, it's possible that there's life in the universe and all that. I saw another big interview on Fox the other day too. So yeah, it's coming up fast and furious. It's a lot of cool stuff, but at the same time, I guess the difficult transition between the reality we think we live in and the reality that is forming beneath our feet. And that's what I was trying to get at in the show last night. Um, the end of the world as we know it. We're about to completely upend our view of our world and our understanding of our place in that world. So that's going to cause a lot of stress on everybody's minds for a period of time. And I think the more you use your intuition and you're spending time developing your intuition, the better you'll be able to navigate these changes in your perception of reality and how you see yourself having a relationship with that new reality. I hope that makes sense. I spoke with Penny Kelly about that last night after the show. And we're going to be doing probably early July, she said, and I have to get back to her on the dates here, but we're going to be doing a workshop together on the Academy on just that. Uh, on finding, guiding, using your intuition, calibrating or tweaking your intuition based on some of your experiences with it. So we're going to be doing a live workshop. So there's going to be part of that is going to be, um, how do you say it? Maybe the first hour would be information about how that is, how your body works, how your body antenna works. And then we'll do like live scenarios, and we'll be taking questions from the audience who decide to take the workshop with us. That's going to be really cool. So she said yes to that. I'm really excited. So I think it's going to be. Did I mean Russell Brand? No, Russell Crowe. There's a guys looking out. There's a Twitter feed from yesterday, I believe, where Russell Crowe was talking. The actor that did was it Spartacus or one of those movies. Um, Anyways, it wasn't Russell Brand. I'm definitely referring to Russell Crowe. So yeah, the workshop is coming up. That's going to be in July, and Joe and I are also going to be re-recording the. Those kids are loud. We're going to be re-recording the crypto panic to own crash course, and this time around. Well, first of all, the one we did is a couple years old already. I've set it to sold off on the website quite a few months ago in preparation for recording a new version of it, because I don't want to have people watch that old video and then have all of these questions about how things have changed a little bit on the landscape since then. So that's why I took it off the site. If you have already bought it on beyondmystic.net, you still have access to the course in your purchased products. I haven't removed that, but I've just prevented new people from buying it simply because I thought it wasn't up to date at this point. Although there's still a lot of good stuff in there that's still valid for people who are just coming to the fore now. I thought we'd do another run at it. So Joe and I are meeting, I think it's Monday, with Coco, one of our producers on the Academy, who the Coco show here is running today, later this afternoon. And so how we're going to do this particular crash course is we're going to have Coco, who's completely a newbie to crypto, go through the process with Joe, step by step by step, how to open up your wallet, how to create your seed phrase, how to do that safely, how to open up your exchange accounts, how to load money in your exchange accounts, how to create your first purchase order, and then how to move that crypto from your account to your secured wallet. All of that in one course, step by step by step, where Coco can say, hey, wait a second, what did you do? Where did I click? Where, so it'll be very, I hope, super easy. It's not easy, but easier for people who, might still have trouble setting the time on their VCRs. We do have people like that watching the show who are not technical at that level, and that's okay. And that's why we're doing these courses, because we're all going to have to learn this sooner or later because of the death of the dollar as we're seeing it now, and the fighting for the installation of whatever new financial system is going to be on top of that. And crypto, whether it's centralized or decentralized or both, are going to be part of our life for a while. So the quicker we all learn that, the better we're going to be off. Okay. Coco is live now. JC with Meg. Oh yeah, it was a pre-record. I think Coco had an event today, so they pre-recorded last night, I believe, and it's probably going live now on Premiere. So yeah, go check it out after you're done with me, or go check it out now. I'm just shooting the shit with you guys. There wasn't anything super important. I really wanted to try my drone, and unfortunately, I won't be able to do that today for you guys. Okay, so what do you think about this new crypto crash course, especially the people who haven't taken it, who are not in crypto now? Let me know if there's something or a technique or a way that you think we could give that information the easiest way possible. And to some extent, it's just not easy. There's a big learning curve in crypto, but it's just one of those things. It's like when people started using cell phones or smartphones, there was a huge learning curve, even for the older people who were used to the rotary phones or corded phones in their houses. And so we all have to go through these jumps in technology, notwithstanding the age you find yourself at. So, yeah. If no internet, how do you use crypto? Well, you don't. Well, that's not exactly true. There's more and more technologies coming up, like quantum swaps. There might be Wi-Fi also, where you can exchange phone to phone, even though there's no internet. So there's things like that going on. But that's why, like we said in the shows too, crypto is not all of it during this transition. You're going to need cash. Cash is king. It's going to be king for a while. And you're also going to need probably gold and silver to trade. Maybe food also to trade. So there's going to be a little bit of everything as we go through this transition. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's the worst thing you can do. But at the same time, don't stay in fear and get stuck in the old petrodollar. It's dying, and if all your eggs are in there, you might not fare as well as you would want to. So, all right. Looking forward to the crypto course, Rose. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. We do need, like, I get a lot on the Academy website. There's a little button at the end where you can submit the form to say which course you're interested in. And we get that a lot. The crypto course. People are also looking for me to give a course on Woo entrepreneurship, basically how to get out of the old matrix and make a living outside of the matrix. You don't have to be a YouTuber, but there's many ways to do that in this world. So people are asking me to share how I did my transition over the last 10 years out of the matrix to what I'm doing now. And I thought I'd put that in a course because, again, there too, with the economy going the way it is, with the huge awakening that's happening, and the term that people use is the big quit or the big leaving. During COVID, a lot of people just left their old jobs. They don't want to do it anymore. Something like clicked in them, and they decided that they didn't want to do what they were doing anymore. That somehow they wanted to be closer to what their core mission was on the planet. So a lot of people are going through that transition now, leaving the matrix and trying to reboot outside of the matrix. And a lot more are going to be doing that. Again, if you look at some of the Webbot data, but even if you just look at the trends now, more people are going to be doing that in mass also. So it's a brand new world we're going into. So that having the skills and the ideas and the ability to navigate and to make a living outside of that normal paycheck and that normal woo or matrix job, and going into the woo is scary. But there's pitfalls, but there's also a lot of benefits to it. So I don't know if I'm going to do a full course, or we're going to do workshops, or we're going to do lives together, like as a mentorship program. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys are interested in, because Janine and I get this often on the shows. People are asking about, hey, I used to be a nurse and I quit during COVID. How do I put my skills to the new world, but still be helpful and truly provide a level of healthcare that is important for people? So going from the matrix into the woo is exactly that. How do you bridge that skill set from the old world and the old world of getting a paycheck and delivering your product or service to the new way of doing that? So there's different aspects to that, and I'll try to share as best I can how I did it, how I do it. I'm still doing it, and hopefully it can help a bunch of you guys also do the same thing. And with that, of course, the goal in mind is it's not just being on mission, but it's also having an extra level of freedom in your life to do the things that you want to do, as opposed to what the Matrix is imposing on you in terms of this 9 to 5. And in French, we say métro, boulot, dodo. So work, subway, and then go to sleep, and then repeat the next day, right? And that's what most people do all their lives, and they never get to having any freedom to explore the things that they want to explore, whether that's culture, whether that's history, whether that's traveling around the planet. So, yeah, lots of opportunities outside of the Matrix. But it's not hard to leave the Matrix, as many of you already know. All right. One interview was great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I really loved it too. Thank you. You're probably just joining. I touched upon this earlier. It was a great interview, and I'm looking forward to having more of those conversations with him. I thought that our rapport, the two of us, was really cool, and we got to get to some really cool conversations. Even though some of the stuff he was talking about, by his own admission, was a little bit opaque, and there was reasons why he needed to be opaque. I think that most of our audience knew exactly what he was talking about and got a lot out of that interview, for sure. I definitely want to hear your woo story. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so that's something that's going to be coming up here, maybe in the next couple of months, I think, in earnest. And are you pregnant? No, I don't want to touch it. You're on YouTube, by the way. Beyond Mystic. Beyond Mystic. Yeah. All right. So yeah, the kids are having fun there. Beyond Mystic. Yeah. There you go. Okay. Bunch of kids. They have no idea what they're getting into. Poor kids. Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Anything else, guys? What time is it? It's 2:00. Let me look. I still have a little bit of battery life. I can stay a little bit longer. But that's it. I think for the direction of the show for the next couple of months, that's where we're going. We're going to try to, I guess, adapt to everything that's happening. One of my preoccupations, and maybe I can ping you guys on this too, as we're seeing now some of the attacks on alt media, as we're going to see the transformation of our world and our worldview, like, what do you guys want me to concentrate on? You know, for the last number of years, I believe I've had a balance of trying to cross that threshold between the mundane and the divine, right? That's part of that logo in the corner there, that gateway. And part of the channel was about just decoding the reality, right? So part of the awakening process. I think as we're doing with the Academy now too, and all the courses on the Academy, we're teaching people new skills for the new world we're entering. So that's definitely still going to be a big piece of what I do moving forward, but maybe not as much decoding the news, as we're getting to a point where we've pretty much decoded all the news, and a lot of the conspiracy theories have become conspiracy facts. So at some point, we're going to run out of that momentum, or the desire for people to even go down that track of going through those rabbit holes. I think at some point, humanity is going to go like, okay, we get it. We were lied to. There's a lot of crooked people. The old systems are falling apart. What do we do now? Right? So that's why I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think moving forward? I still want to do the news. I think it's going to be important to have a check and balance on whatever new governance systems are going to be put in place after this revolution is over. So we're not just going to give the reins to the new guy coming up and trust, or give our trust 100%. We're going to have to stay vigilant. So I'm still going to be doing that, still doing courses. But let me know if there's any other topics. Like, part of me wants to do fun stuff, like, honestly. Guys who know me, I like cars. I like racing cars. I like old cars. I love muscle cars, and I do love flying. I don't fly myself. My buddy Joe had a plane accident a couple of months ago, And that kind of got me rethinking, because at the time I was thinking also of getting a helicopter. So that's on hold for now. But the fun stuff for me would be maybe doing more shows like this on location, just traveling, seeing new places, and meeting people, and just doing live videos like this, and meeting people. I think that would be cool. I'd love to do that. I just love to meet people. Um, Hopefully, after all of this, or this uh, revolution, as Cliff calls it, World Revolution 1 or American Revolution 2.0, AMREV 2.0, hopefully we'll be enabled somehow to travel to places where we're not allowed to travel now. North Pole, Antarctica. Like, oh my God, I'd love to do excursions with Joe, Bix, Cliff, rent this boat and just go. And that also opens the possibility of going to maybe continents that are not yet, I don't want to say discovered. I believe they're discovered. They're just not made public to the general public at large. So could you imagine us uh, being on another wave of Magellan, and going to other continents and seeing other things, or going to inner Earth? Who knows? This, you know, the whole reality can change really quickly if we had access to all of these places that for now are barred from most of humans. And in that conversation with 107 about Antarctica, I could have talked to him about a whole hour or 2 hour show just on Antarctica. But who the fuck is down there? And where does it lead to? And there's a lot of, well, again, well, I could do another show on that. But there's a lot to be discovered, is my point, even here on the planet. And then there's the option of, I said this the other day on my Twitter. People ask me all the time, hey, GC, you're going to run for politics in Canada? And I say, no, absolutely not. I don't want to do that at all. And if anything, after this reboot, I'd be more inclined to work in a space-related job. But that's really what I want to do. And it's funny, I was thinking that, and Cliff Coates did something on his Twitter also saying that don't ask him to run the military or do any of those government jobs. He wants to be a contention manager with the Elohim. So, yeah, that's more my beat. Also, I would say more exploring trade relationships with other ETs. So maybe part of a interplanetary trade commission or something like that. I'd rather do that moving forward. Wouldn't it be cool to do that and also have a YouTube channel where I'm talking to you guys, but I'm also talking to people on the other side of that trade? That'd be cool. So you say, I don't need a helicopter. No, probably not. I'll probably have a floating RV and I'll be flying around with Cliff somewhere. I don't know. So yeah, so that's a little bit further down the line. But these are the things I think about. Beyond Bistic being the news, it would be an amazing. Oh, being the news. Being the news? Oh, yeah, well, that's too. I get that a lot where people are saying, well, you are in the news now. And quite frankly, when you look at the numbers on Rumble, when I do either by myself with the war correspondent, or the Beyond the News, or the Into the Storm, the bigger franchises, the videos that I do on Rumble, I often hit 12, 13, 14,000 people, 15,000 people live, like I did last night. And in some cases, up to 23,000 live viewers. That's really big. Even compared to the big guys out there who pretend to be the big guys, we do have a huge live audience watching us. So I'm really humbled by that. And I know that you guys are a big part of making that happen. So a big thank you to all of you supporting the show and sharing the videos and all that. That's what it's all about, just trying to get the information out and get people, more and more people here onto this Wu timeline and outside of the Matrix. So a big thank you to all of you guys for that. But yeah, I would like to maybe get or train some other news anchors on the show. I think eventually that's where I'm going to want to go, where I might do, a couple of shows a week, but then have different anchors also doing the show, maybe a daytime show, maybe nighttime show. I don't know. That takes some training because it's not just delivering the news. As you know, a big part of what I do is being able to connect that and connect the dots with all the other information. And so that's not something you train for. That's something that you're already in there and you're awake to all of this stuff and you've studied this for a long time, And then you add the broadcasting part of it, the interviewing part of it, asking questions, monitoring the chat, like that we can train. But people who are deep in the woo first and then getting into broadcasting, they're pretty rare. As you know, they're pretty rare. But I'd love to find some more people like that and to help us do even more coverage and stuff, and more news gathering and decoding for you guys. Jenny and JC, amazing combo for the news. Yeah, we love doing the news together. That concept of looking at the news as it's being reported and then trying to pull non-local information to further understand what that stuff means is really cool. And I do think it's a concept that we're going to see repeated more and more in the future. I really do. And apparently so too does Fox News, because they did kind of copy our exactly our format a couple of months ago already, when they had this tarot lady on the show trying to decode the news with the anchor there. I think it was the Waters show, Mark Waters show. So yeah, we're gonna see more and more of that, I think, and I'm excited to where the future is going. All that. I hope I survive this alternative media crackdown or whatever it is that they're talking about now is happening. I remember Cliff said something to the effect that, and I don't know if it was a personal view or if it was the WebBot data, but he had said something to the effect that I would be one of the only ones, or a rare one, to transition between alternative media and whatever the new media is going to be after that. Yeah, I'm live now. It's on Beyond Mystic.
Beyond Mystic.
Yeah.
See, so we said it wrong. This was called Beyond.
No, Beyond. BEYOND. Mystic. MYSTIC. Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to come say hi on camera? Okay. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Thank
Say
you.
hi to the YouTube audience.
What up, YouTube? Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day, man. Yeah. All right. You're welcome, man. New customers. Yeah, exactly. New viewers, hopefully. And welcome to the Woo, guys. They're having fun. It's a beautiful day. All right. Hey, Jerry. Everybody says hi to you. All right. That was cool. Okay. So I think that's about it for tonight. I'm going to be doing with Janine probably another show this evening or tomorrow night. She's kind of between two things right now, dealing with some family stuff. But we might go back and look at this latest Russia announcement from earlier today, and how that the ultimatum with Ukraine here might change the landscape here with NATO, and also what's happening between Cuba and Florida right now. So we might have to do an impromptu show to look at that and decode that as best we can here for you guys, because it's critical. And I think moving into the weekend here and the June 15 date that Cliff I was talking about, there might be some more stuff happening. So yeah, we will see you again sometime this weekend. And in the meantime, Janine and I are going to be starting the Beyond the News episode next week on Tuesday. She won't be there on Monday, but we'll do Tuesday and Wednesday on the IAP and pay-per-view, and then the Thursday again for the Rumble show for you guys. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Big thank you for joining. Please hit that like button and share the information as best you can, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.